Hi, this is Zach Semke with Passive House Accelerator, and thanks for tuning in to this special bonus episode of the Passive House podcast, recorded at Passive House Network's 2023 conference in Denver, Colorado. And a big thank you to EnterSign for their support of the series. The interview you're about to hear was hosted by Sean St. Amour, co-host of the Construction Tech edition of Passive House Accelerator Live.
Sean St. Amour with Passive House Accelerator here in Denver for the Passive House Network Conference, and I'm with Rane from Carpentry. Rane, who are you?
Hi, Sean. I am Rane. I am with Carpentry. We are a prefab builder based out of Invermere, British Columbia. And we're hanging out here in Denver, meeting some of our coworkers, meeting some new people, and also putting up a project down in Taos, New Mexico.
Yeah, I love it how you and Yen started it, and now here we are in Denver with a big crew. You guys are growing, expanding in a whole bunch of different areas. Factory space, crew, the design package you guys have going on. It's exciting. So if you haven't already listened to Heather on the podcast, go check it out. Great discussion with her. I love the names that you guys created. That is fantastic. And so just exciting stuff you guys are up to. When was your first Passive House conference?
The first conference was 2015. So we had dabbled a little bit in high performance building. We had site built a passive house at that point. And in 2015, we had actually started the factory. We were into our first few prefab projects, and we went to Vancouver and met up with all of our like-minded, cohorts there, and nerded out on all the details, and met a bunch of people that are probably here at this conference, and started to develop those necessary relationships that have benefited us through the years.
Awesome. Yeah, the Passive House Kool-Aid was definitely being poured early in those early years, and again, here it is today, full blown with a great audience. So, what is the plans and kind of expectations for Carpentry and yourself over the next 2 days here in a blue sky Denver?
Oh, it's beautiful here in Denver. Yeah, it's. We do have a booth here, so we're definitely going to try to meet some people that we've made contact with. We're going to attend some of the cool exhibitions and talks that are going on. But mostly it's just kind of continuing on the relationships that we've started. And then, we always have a list of people that we want to meet, and some kind of fresh faces that we're aware of, but haven't really had a good opportunity to meet face to face. So that's the main objective here. So we're a crew of 4 here at the booth. So we've got Craig that normally lives in France. He flew over to bolster the sales group. And we've got Tanya, who lives down in Taos, and then we've got Heather from Seattle as well. So Heather kind of leads our architecture. So
great.
Yeah.
Excellent crew. All right, so here's kind of the big question we've talked about in Passive House is the cost. So what do you think, or how can we address the myth of the cost of Passive House?
Well, yeah, it's a tough one. We get asked this daily of what is the difference in cost. And it's a really difficult question for us to ask because we've never really been involved where we build a prefabricated passive house right next to a site-built passive house that gets built next to a code-built house. That would be an interesting experiment, but nobody's going to do that. Especially in this room where everyone is so invested in just building new passive houses. The feedback for us is generally that, or the question to us is what's the benefit of prefabrication over site building? And for us, the benefit of prefabrication is that it's a known price. We work on a fixed price basis, and we're going to stick to our price. And there is some surety built into it. Whereas the site building generally on cost plus basis, and certainly builders getting into it for the first time, there are going to be some growing pains, and there's going to be some variability in that pricing. So, that's sort of more of where my mind goes when you ask of the price difference. We don't really entertain a code built project. That's not really something in our purview. So, it's a little bit hard for me to add to that. We have had feedback from general contractors when they ask, like, hey, what's the difference between prefab and site build? And we've had the feedback from some people that have gone down the road of site building, and some of them are actually a little bit they're dismayed that they didn't go with the prefab route.
Gotcha.
Like, they say your price seemed high in the initial planning phase, and then they come back to us and they're like, well, things escalated on site, things seemed harder, and we would have gone the prefab route if we'd known in the end.
Yeah, I know. And again, for people that know me, I love resilient prefab passive houses, and so being able to combine both, right? All three into that package, you get the benefit of it. And that's, I think, where a lot of the conversation ends up talking about is, there's a cost of a good product. And with that, then you get the comfort and the health and the energy efficiency and everything else that goes with the benefits of passive house. But you guys have that envelope first approach because that's what you guys manufacture. And of course, sticking to your guns and your mission, you guys have been able to scale and expand, and we're seeing the full force of your team here. So the bonus question we have for you, because we fired up 5 at you, is who is your biggest passive house fan?
Oh, Sean, this is a great question for you to ask specifically. I think you've always been our biggest fan. Clearly, the answer is you. So, I'll stick with that. I wouldn't even give a bonus answer to the bonus question. It's a very clear black and white. Sean St. Amour is our biggest fan.
Well, again, it's kudos because I'm a big fan of the passivist movement that you guys have been involved, and I love the fact of we're lucky in BC that we've got 4 big players and more coming on board, and the fact that you guys are collaborators and are working hard to grow that pie of the prefab market. Because again, do we really want to just bring all of our parts to a garage and assemble on site? Isn't it better just to have a manufactured facility that has all those comforts and be able to manufacture a great product and be able to put it together like Lego and ship it? And kudos. I think you are probably have installed more passive house projects on the planet. And I would love to find out that final number, but I know for a fact that one of the reasons why I want to sit down with you is because I'm a fan of yours as well. So definitely kudos. But your hard work and getting out to these job sites. Because again, this year alone, you were in some cold weather projects in Montana. You were in hot weather things. So you are being able to deal with the extremes and be able to land panels with millimeter precision. So it's been fun to watch.
That's the running joke with us because, we started the business to get out of the weather. We were tired of building passive houses out in the cold and freezing. And the irony is I'm right back out in the cold putting these projects together. But I have a much bigger smile on my face now because, the crane does the heavy lifting. We don't have to lift the stuff by hand. And, we have much more refined systems now. And we've built install methods that allow us to do really high quality work in marginal conditions. So I feel like we've come a long way in the 10-year arc of from site building to prefab.
Well, keep it going with what you guys are doing there. Again, love the product, love the fact that you've had a scalable business and you, again, are able to enjoy the passion of prefab, the passion of passive house, and the passion of making a business successful. So congrats and thanks for your time today. Enjoy the rest of the conference.
Always great to see you. Thanks for having me on.